Good evening, everyone, and welcome from America with Ayman. Probably you heard about Moms for Liberty, but I want to introduce you a fighter woman. She is fighting for your kids in the school. She is fighting for your kids' rights in the school. Please welcome with me Hillary Jackson. She is the chairwoman for Moms of Liberty. Hi, Hillary. How you doing?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Ivan.
Thank you for being with me today. Before I start, I just want to dedicate this episode for the soul of the great friend um, Charles Kirk and for his wife and his kids. So let's talk about Moms for Liberty.
Thank you.
How is your journey began with Moms for Liberty?
Yeah, so Moms for Liberty was founded in 2021
Mhm.
by Tina Deskovich and Tiffany Justice. They're based out of Florida. And what kind of started this whole thing was how the schools and the state government were handling the COVID pandemic. A lot of that was, the shutting down of the schools, the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, and those incredible ladies, we're like, something's not right here. We shouldn't have to live like this. We live in the United States.
Mhm.
We are a free nation.
Mhm.
So that's where it all got started. And 4 years later, we're still here, and we have chapters all across the country, and I think almost every single state at this point. But my chapter is out of Northeast Ohio in Cuyahoga County.
Mhm.
And my journey started with a situation that happened at my school where I live, in Brecksville, Ohio, where the parents were kind of left in the dark about a pretty serious issue with the school health aide stealing medication from the students and giving them something else instead, being her Lexapro. That's a very serious antidepressant. So, a lot of parents that I spoke to in our community felt helpless. They weren't getting the answers that they were asking for. They weren't getting the support from the school that they were asking for. And a lot of the moms that were directly affected by it, I developed relationships with, and hearing that they themselves weren't feeling that they were getting answers and support was just an absolute travesty. So from there, I literally just Googled parental rights advocate organizations, and Moms for Liberty popped right up. I looked to see if there was a chapter already in existence in our county to go ask them for help,
Mhm.
and there wasn't. So that's when I decided to just take it upon myself and start the chapter.
That's great. That's great. But let me go more details for the people watching us or hear about Moms for Liberty for first time. We just need to
Yeah.
explain more about Moms for Liberty core mission and what exactly you try to achieve for the whole country.
Yeah, so Moms for Liberty, we are first and foremost a parental rights advocacy organization. And our emphasis is in education. We make sure that the parents are getting all of the information that they need, that they truly are a partner
Mhm.
in education with the schools. Also that that they are empowered and have all of the knowledge that they need to know if something looks awry. They know what to do. They know who to contact. And sometimes that can lead to some pretty hairy situations, but parents need to know that they are the first and foremost educators, and the most important people in any child's life. Regardless of how if you're going to private school, public school, uh, the parents are the first stop. And unfortunately, we're not seeing that in public schools across the nation.
Yes.
So one thing that we do, is that we unfortunately have to deal with with schools who are socially transitioning students without parental consent or knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
We work with legislators to try to make sure that things like that not only don't happen, but aren't allowed to happen to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
A good place to start was in Florida with Ron DeSantis in his parental rights bill. That was, one of the things that we were obviously big advocates for things like that. We did have a couple of issues with some of our own parents where schools were transitioning kids, socially transitioning kids and not informing parents. And it ended up getting all the way to, to nationwide coverage. With January Littlejohn. If you haven't looked into her story, absolutely look into what she went through. And that's just one of the many things that Moms for Liberty help parents fight for their consent, their knowledge, and to us, to obviously be included in everything that happens with between their child and the school district. Another thing that we deal with quite often is appropriate materials in schools. If you were to look up Moms for Liberty, you're going to see, Moms for Liberty, we're for book banning. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We have no interest in book banning. We want you to write all of the books. We just want to make sure that if your children have access to these books, one, that they have access to these books. Mm-hmm. And two, if they are able to just freely, peruse and check these things out, are they age appropriate for your child? Yes. And unfortunately, what we're finding is that there's a lot of material out there that very, very young students have access to. Yes. That if I were to read them, it would make me blush. So that's another thing that Moms for Liberty is involved in, and it comes down to protecting kids. And it's we're here because the parents need us to be here. We are parents. If the need and the issues didn't exist, then neither would Moms for Liberty. But yet here we are.
Yeah, for me as a parent for 8 years old daughter, and when I see you for the first time, and when you're fighting with the Board of Education in one of your trails, I say we have to connect. And because me and my wife, we are involved with the school. She's volunteering, and whenever I have time, I go there too. But I want to ask you this question because you more engaged with the parents. What the role do you believe that the parent should play to shaping the school policies?
Well, that is another avenue of what Moms for Liberty does, is that we also empower and engage our community to running for office with, if that's school board. We are big advocates to encourage our school board to be full of parents. That we have plenty of teachers and administrators in the buildings. We truly feel that we need to have people on the school boards that are making sure that the children have a voice and that parents have a voice, and that stakeholders, that could be, it's, anybody that lives there, they need to have a voice too. We're no longer interested in having our school boards being ran by the teachers' unions that clearly do not have the best interest of our children in mind. So that is the first way that parents absolutely should get involved, is if you're not involved in the school board already, consider running. We have programs that make it not so scary. We're definitely there to help you. We have all the tools and guides to help you along the way if you decided to do that. And then, of course, another thing is establish a relationship with your child's teacher, with the administration, and with the principal. It can be scary, especially for parents who work a lot and are only able to sometimes, you only talk to the school when something's wrong. Yeah. And that's how it was when I was.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's how it was when I was growing up, because my parents worked full time.
Yep.
But I am challenging each parent to do everything you can to make sure that your child's teachers know who you are, know what you're expecting, and know what is expected of you. I mean, there's no harm in just asking the teacher, what do you need from me as a parent, and developing that relationship, because that's just one step closer to creating that unity and that partnership that we want to see parents and our schools have.
Yeah. This is great, and probably in the last few years, there is the core values in the schools to start like having something incorrect, especially the balance between the education and the family values. It doesn't as it should be before. So from your point of view, do you think how the schools can make this balance between the education and the knowledge and also the values for the families we try to raise our kids on?
Well, the first thing that we need to do is understand the level of hierarchy and how public education works. It's very much a top-down, trickle-down system. We have teachers' unions. The biggest union is called the NEA, or the National Educators Association. They have made it very clear what their intentions are. This past summer, they had a conference and they posted, they had their agenda. And ironically, the agenda was not posted online for the first time in a very long time. But somebody that was attending that summit, I guess, for lack of a better term, took pictures and screenshots and sent them out. And that's how I obtained them. And it was very clear that the National Educators Association has zero interest in your child's well-being, your child's education, nothing. It was full of leftist ideology. It called Trump a fascist. And I can, of course, Ayman, send you these screenshots because people need to see this. It's true. It's real. They vowed to encourage students to become activists, to stand up against executive orders. And these executive orders, I mean, we're acting like, having girls' sports and boys' sports is this new radical idea, and it's just, it's crazy. But they've made it very clear that they're no longer hiding what their intentions are, and it's absolutely to push this ideology in schools. So that's your National Educators Association. But then it trickles down, because obviously you have teachers that are paying union dues, right? And then these teachers, their hands are kind of tied because they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. So when this ideology gets pushed, and from their union, that the people that are supposed to protect them, what do? They're literally, their hands are tied. They're no longer able to teach freely. But in addition to the the NEA, there are school board unions and associations. And what we're finding, and like I said, it's a quick Google, they're not trying to hide it anymore, is that these unions are now lobbyists, where they are funding and basically serving as campaign managers for school boards, for school board members and school board campaign.
Yeah.
And so that's why and how this is happening. That's how these radical leftist ideologies have infiltrated our public education system. And again, they're not hiding it. This isn't a tinfoil hat Hillary moment, and I have those, but this isn't one of them. It is out there. And I mean, even Randy Weingarten, she is the president of, I don't think it's the NEA, it's a different teachers association, but she just wrote a book about why teachers are afraid of fascists, or something, or why fascists are afraid of teachers, something along those lines. What does that have to do with making sure that your child is proficient in math and reading? It doesn't. It has everything to do with ideology. So, again, that's one thing that Moms for Liberty, we're really trying to, educate parents and educate Americans that this is the reality. This is what's going on. And this is what we're trying to do to at least not only stop it, but to at least give parents just so they know and have the option to either keep their kids in school or make a different decision.
Yeah, I was talking with one of my friends today. He's a doctor, and he told me a story. I was telling him I'm having you today, and I tell him more about Moms for Liberty. He shared a story with me, and I'm glad he shared this because this is properly facing this problem facing a lot of parents. He told me one of the teachers in the classroom, she's putting in the classroom the rainbow flag, and she's keeping this and she's proud of this flag. And one of the kids, when he back home, his son, he tell him, and he's go to the school and he asked to meet with the principal. Why this flag inside the classroom? The classroom should only have the American flag, no other flags, no rainbow flag, no Black Lives Matters flags, no whatever flags is inside the classroom. And they tell them the teacher, she feels she's free and she's free in her house, not free here. But because my friend, he know the laws and he keep fighting, they enforce her to take the flag out of the classroom. And let me ask you this question, because you hear a lot of stories from the parents, and I want to hear from you, what is the most common issue probably Moms for Liberty here, or most complaints came from the parents about the schools you probably hear?
I can tell you the number one issue that we deal with is the inappropriate sexual content that our children have access to. So whether that's in library books or the books that they choose to be a part of their curriculum, or it's just a simple fact of we have Chromebooks that these schools aren't checking to see what's already uploaded on these Chromebooks before we're passing them out to kids. So they have, a lot of the times unfettered access to, to look at whatever they want. And we're seeing, in some situations that, the kids will be on something that is school approved, but then the ads on the side, are of inappropriate content. And unfortunately, we're finding out about this because it's too late. There's no precautionary steps to, for the Chromebooks anyway. There's no precautionary steps. All that the schools are able to do or have done, as far as what we've been told, is that they catch it when it happens. But then it's already too late.
But I think we can do like family filter, like we do for our for our kids' phones. If we able to, if they can update the software, whatever, but they can add like some filters, so to protect any sexual content for this certain age.
You would think. I will be the first to tell you that I am not tech savvy. So when it comes to safeguarding the electronics that we use in our home, that is what my husband does. But obviously we do those things. It's possible. So I would be willing to bet that we could do the same things with the Chromebooks at school. But it's just it's so crazy how we have educators justifying our children having access to graphic sexual material. It blows my mind. And the number one, and I'll be quite honest with you, the number one reason of justification is to make or to have something representing the LGBTQ lifestyle. And I'll tell you what, I have a wonderful LGBTQ community where I live, and I've yet to meet somebody that is actually a part of that community that agrees with any of this. But for whatever reason, they, the teachers and the administrators in these schools feel that they have to have this representation, and the representation is about sex. I wonder why. Because saying you're LGBTQ is about who you want to have sex with. It's why is that such a no wonder. It's
school should
so
be
crazy to say it out loud.
For education, for science, for even if you teaching them about the gender or whatever, but don't talk about the identity. What is the importance of till you feel you are, and believe me, um, the, there's a lot of money, dirty money behind this agenda. It's a
There
business.
absolutely
It's a
is.
business. It's like, why do you choose to have a Pride Month to sell a lot of products? I work in marketing for 20 plus years, and I can tell you, they try to turn people to be a consumer regarding what the value behind is consuming. So you generate an idea to
Yeah.
promote products behind this idea, to selling product to people, to make them buying t-shirts and flags and stuff, and just paying money. Look at the behind this, it's money. It's they try to turning people mind to go for making surgeries, for paying money. So it's a Satan agenda at in the
Yeah.
beginning of the end. It's a
It absolutely
Satan
is.
agenda.
It
So
absolutely is. And I'm so glad that you said that, because truly money is the root of all evil, and it is a Satan
exactly.
agenda. And with myself being a conservative Christian, and I'm proud to say that I am, it's very clear and very evident as to why they're going after our children. They don't want any more soldiers of Christ.
Yes.
They,
Yes.
that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's, they're going after the children in the schools because that's where the parents aren't around, right? And then the kids that they can't get to there, they get to in the womb, in abortion clinics.
Yeah.
So that's it. It should not be a mystery to anybody why they're going after our children.
And this is why our friend, he paid his life for this, because he was
Absolutely.
fighting for all this Satan agendas. So let me ask you this too. I want to continue talking to you forever, but I know you have a lot of duties, and you are in DC now, and you told me before we go to our live today, you have a lot of things to do. So let me ask you this, Hilary, how the whole community, teachers, parents, Moms for Liberty, everyone, how we cooperate to get involved with your work for Moms for Liberty on to help our kids to be better.
Yeah. So the easy thing to do would be to find a local chapter near you. Find a chapter that's close by. Because believe it or not, we do have a lot of teachers that are in our organization, because they believe in the same things that we do, that school should be about making sure our kids can read, making sure our kids know how to think, not telling them what to think. So that would be a really good way to get involved, is to find a chapter. And of course, if your county doesn't have a chapter, start one. It is super easy to do. And I think the biggest thing that we need to do, as far as, conservative Christians, and, if you believe in the same core values that Moms for Liberty has, is to just keep going. Don't stop. The pushback is there. The pushback is great and it's scary, but we owe it to our kids. We owe it to the generations to come. I owe it to my grandchildren that hopefully I'll be able to meet in, the next 30 years, to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to make this world a better place for them. We're obligated to do that.
So let me ask you this: how do you reach out to Moms for Liberty if they want to engage or want to volunteer for chapter? So what is the communication channel for this?
Yeah, momsforliberty.org. You'll be able to do both things. You'll be able to find a chapter. If there is a chapter, you'll be able to join one. If you see that there isn't a chapter in your county, you'll be able to start a chapter with that process. There is, a little bit, of course, we make sure that we have, legitimate people doing, starting chapters. So, it's not like you can start a chapter right now and then turn around, and wear the t-shirt. There is a process.
There's no turning point.
There's no yes, but the process is it's to be respected
Yeah.
because we want to make sure that obviously we do have liberty-minded people in this organization, and that's what's make it that's what's made it so successful
Mhm.
because we've been able to um, recruit the right people and put the right people in the right places. And my chapter has grown. I mean, we just opened this past March, and
Mhm.
we have grown so much that I'm literally going to DC.
You're doing good,
Well, I'm in
Mom.
DC, but I'm going to the White House tomorrow to be a part of an education briefing.
Wonderful.
So it is wonderful. It's a
You're doing
great
an amazing job, Hillary. You're doing an
thank you.
amazing job. I'm so proud that we have moms, strong American moms, holding the value from generation to generation. We are so proud of what you're doing.
Thank
Um,
you.
this is the first time we meet here, but it will not be the last time. Please um, come again and tell us the update. What's Moms for Liberty offer the community? Hillary, thank you so much for your time. I know you are super busy and super great mom and super fighter and patriot. Thank you for being with me today. Best of luck for your visit to the White House tomorrow for the education sessions you will do, and we will need from you more and more. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Everyone, we're watching us today. Please don't forget to visit momsforliberty.org. Looking for the nearest chapel for you. They're ready to help. If you don't have one, you probably be the first one who's starting in your county. So please, please, please reach out to them. They're fighting for your kids, but they can't fight alone. If you like this episode, please, today, don't forget to put like for Hillary, not for me. And please share the word of today for everyone you know, for your beloved. Share it in your social media channels. Share it in anywhere you prefer. And we need to spread the word for our next generation to be more healthy and to keep America safe and great again. Thank you so much and have a great night.